Hey, Falcons fans. If you want to stay up to date with all the news, updates about our team, you're in the right place. Here you'll find everything about the Atlanta Falcons, with content made especially for our fans, so don't waste time. Subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell to be the first to receive all notifications. And of course, leave a like to strengthen our incredible community of Falcons fans. Get ready, because we're bringing you the latest and exclusive news. Now, let's get to today's news. Falcons likely to release $10 million veteran with 66 sacks without playing a single snap for Atlanta. The Atlanta Falcons may be on track to make a drastic and perhaps surprising decision involving an NFL veteran before the 2025 regular season even begins. Leonard Floyd, a veteran pass rusher with 66 career sacks and a $10 million contract, may be on his way out in Atlanta without even wearing a uniform for an official game. The decision is reportedly tied to the clear strategic shift the franchise adopted this offseason after another frustrating year in terms of quarterback pressure, with the defense ranking among the worst in the league. In sacks, new head coach Raheem Morris has committed to turning the page, and the rebuild began with a draft, where the Falcons prioritized young, promising talent to bolster the front seven. Raheem Morris said he was tired of being criticized for the Falcons' lack of pressure, and that they were determined to fix that this offseason. Reported journalist Will McFadden, "This needs to change, and the only way to change it is to change it." And change they did. Atlanta used two of its most valuable picks on pass rushes, Jalon Walker and James Pierce Jr., both selected in the first round of the 2025 draft. Both are expected to have an immediate role in the defensive system and see plenty of action in their first year. In addition, the Falcons also brought in Billy Bowman Jr., a versatile defender who played safety in college but will be used as a nickel corner in the NFL. And Watts, another young defender with potential. With this young core gaining momentum, Floyd's presence on the roster is starting to feel redundant and expensive. The veteran was signed early in the offseason with the mission of bringing experience and helping increase the team's sack production, but his role may have been quickly overtaken by the rookie's impact and performance during practice and preseason activities. Bates' mentorship is crucial for the Falcons, who will likely field a very young defense in 2025. Walker and Pierce Jr. were both first-round draft picks in April, and will likely see significant playing time as rookies, wrote ESPN's Mark Raimondi. According to Fansided's Winston Wilcox, the Atlanta Falcons may be actively evaluating a trade or even outright release for Floyd, aiming to free up cap space and perhaps acquire more draft picks or help elsewhere on the roster. They also have David Onyemata and Morgan Fox, which again adds unnecessary depth. Floyd should be a top pick, but he's the only one with any real value they could capitalize on when they realize they overcompensated on the defensive line, Wilcox wrote. If Atlanta is smart, they will capitalize on Floyd's value before the season starts. Atlanta Falcons acquire Kenny Pickett in trade with the Cleveland Browns. What this means for the future of the quarterback position in Atlanta with NFL training camp approaching. The Cleveland Browns face a delicate situation, an excess of quarterbacks on the roster. Currently, the team has no fewer than 5 players at the position: Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and Kenny Pickett, which will naturally force the franchise to make difficult decisions in the coming weeks. After all, it's highly unlikely that a team will carry 5 quarterbacks into the regular season. In this scenario, the Browns decided to act before simply releasing a valuable player. They chose to trade Kenny Pickett, a former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback and most recently a backup with the Philadelphia Eagles. The destination, the Atlanta Falcons, who may be quietly reshaping their future under center. The Falcons' silent crisis with Kirk Cousins. Pickett's trade to Atlanta comes amid growing tension behind the scenes at the Falcons involving Kirk Cousins. Signed with high expectations last offseason, Cousins arrived to be the franchise's undisputed starter. However, the front office surprised everyone by selecting Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. Just a month after signing Cousins, the decision generated internal unease, something that was evident in the new season of the Netflix series Quarterback, in which Cousins plays a central role. With Penix Jr. showing improvement and earning the starting spot late last season, the situation has become even more complicated for Cousins, whose days in Atlanta now appear to be numbered. The trade for Kenny Pickett could be the final sign that the franchise is truly ready to move in a different direction. Why Kenny Pickett? Despite not having established himself as a starter for the Steelers, Pickett is still a young quarterback with NFL starting experience and still on his rookie contract, making him a financially attractive option. Last season, playing as Jalen Hurts' backup for the Eagles, Pickett played in 5 games, totaling 291 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Nothing spectacular, but enough to show he can be a reliable backup, something that Falcons desperately need, especially if they decide to trade Cousins. Furthermore, Pickett arrives without the pressure of being the franchise savior. His role would be clear: to provide stability and security on the bench, ready to step in if Penix Jr. gets injured or shows fluctuations, a common occurrence for quarterbacks starting their careers. a smart and necessary move for the Cleveland Browns. Trading Pickett frees up space in a crowded room and could facilitate another potential move: the departure of Joe Flacco, a veteran who may no longer have playing time if the Browns decide to give playing time to Sanders and Gabriel, two promising prospects. For the Falcons, it's a move of foresight. If Cousins is indeed traded, whether to the Browns themselves, who have ties to him through Kevin Stefanski, or to another team, Atlanta won't be left without a role at the most important position in the game. With the arrival of Kenny Pickett, the Falcons add depth, youth, and experience to the roster, reinforcing their commitment to immediate competitiveness while building a solid foundation for the future. Falcons delay and now face a high price to re-sign Drake London after Garrett Wilson's record-breaking contract. The Atlanta Falcons may have made a strategic mistake this offseason by delaying the contract extension of their star wide receiver, Drake London. The hesitation of the front office, led by Terry Fontenette, will cost them dearly after the New York Jets set a new market standard by signing Garrett Wilson, a receiver with a profile and track record comparable to London's, to a multi-million-dollar extension. Wilson, selected 2 spots behind London in the 2022 draft, agreed to a 4-year $180 million extension, with $90 million guaranteed, placing him among the 5 highest-paid wide receivers in the NFL. For the Falcons, this means that any negotiation with London now starts from this new level, a reality that could have been avoided more quickly. Inevitable comparisons between London and Wilson put pressure on Atlanta. Drake London and Garrett Wilson have nearly parallel career paths. Both faced challenges in their early years, including instability at quarterback, but still produced solid numbers and stood out as their respective teams' WR1. London even outperformed in some key metrics last season, even without a consistent passing attack in Atlanta. With the market value rising after the Wilson deal, London now has even more ammunition in negotiations. This situation further complicates matters for the Falcons, who saw new head coach Raheem Morris publicly declare that he would not trade London for any other NFL receiver, demonstrating the importance of the No. 5 in the offensive scheme. The connection with Penix Jr. increases the weight of the renewal. The arrival of Michael Penix Jr., chosen as Kirk Cousins' heir apparent, adds an additional layer of urgency to the situation. In the 3 games they played together in training camp and minicamp, Penix has already demonstrated a rapport with London, targeting the wide receiver in decisive moments. Maintaining this healthy and motivated connection is vital to the success of the new offensive project in Atlanta. Furthermore, London is preparing for the best season of his career, and all signs point to him being the main target of the offense under offensive coordinator Zach Robinson. If the Falcons don't finalize the contract before the season starts, there's a risk London will further increase his value with dominant performances, making a renewal even more expensive and difficult to complete. The cost of delay could be historic. Based on Garrett Wilson's contract, the new floor for negotiating with London is $32.5 million per season, a figure that would place him squarely in the top 5 at the position, alongside names like Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and CeeDee Lamb. And considering London's age and growth potential, the Falcons don't have much room to negotiate for less. At this point, the Atlanta Falcons can't afford any more mistakes if they want to keep the core of their offense together and give Michael Penix Jr. all the tools possible for his development. They need to seal the deal with London before the ball starts flying in the regular season. The price has already risen and it could continue to rise.